Elden Ring has a wide variety for Ashes of War. You got Lion's Claw, Bloody Slash, Cragblade, etc. One in particular is the GOAT of them all, the Lightning Ram Ash of War. Today, I wanted to ram everything to see how good or bad this thing is. As always, if you enjoy, consider liking and subscribing, and enjoy the video. Starting out, I grabbed the wizened finger and started my journey towards Limgrave. Once I made it, I headed up the elevator and opened the door to an amazing view. Now that I made it to Limgrave, I needed the 2 Dectus medallions to activate the lift to the Altus Plateau, where the Lightning Ram Ash of War is. On the way, I grabbed Torrent from Melina, got one part of the medallion, headed to the 3rd Church of America, where a portal sent me to the 2nd. Now that I had both medallions, I can now use the Grand Lift of Dectus to get into the plateau. Finally, I got the Ash of War I needed, so I headed back to Stormveil Castle to fight my first boss. First, I tried parrying him, and that did not go well. Next, I used the Ash of War and did a whopping 45 damage. I knew I was done for. Since my damage was so low, I knew there was no way I could defeat him, so I decided I would come back after I sharpened my blade. But even after upgrading my weapon, I still lacked the skills to defeat him. But a wave of motivation hit me, so I knew what I must do. Yes, sir. Once I defeated Margit, I spoke to Godrick, who opened the main gate of Stormveil that leads to the next boss. While I made my way through Stormveil, trying to avoid every enemy, I grabbed the golden seed for an extra flask and some crack pots for Foreskin Duo to make sleep pots. And then, it was time for the next boss. Now that Godrick was out of the way, I warped to the Ray Lucaria Grace, where I ran from the neighbor's pitbull and a lot of int users, but safely made it to the Red Wolf of Radagon, who didn't even stand a chance. Making my way up the stairs, Moongrim was guarding the elevator, waiting for me. I made it on the elevator, but Moongrim did not let me go that easy, so I tried to knock him off, but we both ended up falling into the abyss. But I can respawn. Loser! Now that Renalla's bodyguard won't cock block me, I can finally go fight her. Almost dying in the process, I made it to Renalla's second phase, but she used Goku's Kamehameha wave and I got one tap. So I tried again. Which then she proceeded to summon every fucking enemy in existence while spamming magic. God, I hate int users. But I persevered and killed her ass. Since Renalla was done, I went back to the Altus Plateau to get the Lightning Scorpion Charm for a 15% increased damage with lightning, and then whoop Draconic Tree Sentinel's ass. Once I made it inside, I climbed up the giant dragon, which led to the golden seed, which a giant gargoyle was guarding, and ended up killing me. But I learned my lesson and made it past safely, and made it to Golden Godfrey. Next up is Margit and his dirty Grubbers. After defeating Margit, Melina gave me the rolled medallion to head into the mountaintops of the giants. Which there I grabbed the smithing stone 5 and 6 bell bearing and leveled up my weapon to plus 18. Then headed for Fire Giant, but before I got there, I grabbed myself another sacred tear and then an ancient dragon smithing stone to max out my weapon. And then I was ready. First, I broke the shackle on Fire Giant's ankle to do more damage. Then shortly after ramming his foot a million times, I managed to get him to second phase. While he did his volcano explosion, I stayed by his right leg to avoid any of the rocks. And then I slowly take his health away, little by little, until he finally died of electrocution. A wise man once said, "If you know your enemy and know yourself, you need not to fear the result of 100 stings." What the hell am I talking about? Now that Fire Giant was dead, I felt the touch of a woman, then Melina was saying some shit about committing a cardinal sin, and she committed arson. Then magically I got sent to the Foreskin Duo's neighborhood. And while looking at rocks, I get jumped by these random ass beasts who look like they should be in Bloodborne. Eventually I made it to the Foreskin Duo boss fight where I used sleep pots on them because this thing was way too slow. But even with sleep pots, it didn't go well. I kept getting fucked over and over. Like, someone tell me, how the fuck does he go over the pillar and then hits me twice? And then he does it his second time in a row? I was pissed, but that didn't stop me from destroying their ass. Pause. I was out of sleep pots, but I knew I had to lock the fuck in. I killed one, and there was only one left. I had done it. I had finally killed the Foreskin Duo. On my way to Maliketh, I grabbed the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman for defense, and then do the Fair Missoula skip. Now that I defeated Foreskin Duo, I am able to buy a Smithing Stone 7 and 8, so I can level up my weapon to plus 25. America's dog has been slain, and now it's Gideon's turn to die. Next up, Godfrey.
Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Thy strength befits a crown.
And now it was time for the final two bosses.